Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today the Overwatch closed beta is back, and it's got a lot of changes. Overwatch, when I played it in the first beta, in fact when I played it in the alpha stage, was incredibly well polished, stable, and fun to play. And now it has just got more and more features. The game is really sort of shaping up to look somewhat what I imagine it'll look like in its final stage. Here you're seeing some of the loot crate opening. This is a new thing in Overwatch, not necessarily new to video games or shooters, but much like Hearthstone, you open up loot crates that you are awarded when you level up in the game, and they'll give you new character skins, they'll give you in-game money, which you can use to buy skins or different ways to customize your characters, and you'll get sprays and different voice emotes and all sorts of kind of cool stuff you can use just to sort of personalize your character. There's no in-game items that give you actual benefits though, so it's all cosmetics as far as I can tell. The user interface has been updated and there's new sections now. This is the hero gallery where you can go into your individual heroes and see all the different cosmetic upgrades you have for each of them. The camo section, or rather the skin section, is absolutely awesome, and in Blizzard fashion some of them are incredibly unique and cool. There's a whole bunch of standard ones that are just color changes, but then they have incredibly rare and even legendary skins which can change up the entire look of your character. I mean, this one here is basically an entirely different looking character from the original Soldier 76. One of my favorites is not only Undersea Winston, but Safari Winston, which just cracks me up every time I see this skin. It's kind of amazing, and I'm glad that Blizzard is having a lot of fun with these skins. People who dedicate themselves to certain characters, I think, are just going to fall in love with the new skins that changes the look, and it can make you just look so much more menacing. I really like this overgrown one for Bastion now, and Bastion's gone through some cool upgrades. We'll talk about the character balance here in just a second, but I think overall the skins here that Blizzard are offering, these are skins that people will spend money for. I have no doubt in my mind. Like, they're just artistically so much more above and beyond what a lot of other games offer in terms of cosmetic upgrades, and it's just nice to see Blizzard sparing no expense here with the art direction of the game. Now, with the new patch also comes a new game mode called Control, which is very similar to Drop Zone from Star Wars Battlefront if you played that. Basically, there'll be one control area. Both teams have to fight over it. It's a time-based game mode where you have to stand on the control point to capture it. If you capture it, then it'll switch to a new control point, and it's basically a best-of-3 format. So whoever gets the most captured control points during the course of the round, they'll win that. And it's more of an equal footing game mode where one team isn't necessarily just playing defensively or offensively. And it'll be interesting to see which game mode the esports community favors, because Payload is definitely very interestingly balanced and there's a lot of strategy behind it. Will Control offer more strategy? I have yet to see. The esports community has yet to make up their mind, but it will be interesting. Maybe they'll have multiple leagues, or maybe they'll mix it up during tournaments. You have to be able to play both Control and Payload. Now, Blizzard has also implemented a whole host of updates to private game modes with settings and configurations. So basically, if you want to play competitively or do scrims, like have two comp teams run strategies against each other in scrims, which is a huge part of the esports gaming world, and practicing your strategies, you can now do that, and you can mess around with the in-game settings. So this will allow the community to kind of come up with what they think is a good setting for a competitive match, rather than Blizzard trying to figure that out on their own. They've now given the private gaming community the ability just to tweak the settings on their own and figure out what works best. Now, when it comes to hero balance, there has been a ton of changes this time around. Ultimate abilities are completely different now. Well, not completely different, but basically they all charge up over time, and they don't charge up faster if you take damage anymore. They've also been rebalanced in terms of the amount of charge you need to activate them, just to make it more fair. So this will be interesting. Everybody will get their ultimate over time no matter what now, and this will be more interesting, especially for defensive players that are just hanging out by the capture point or by the payload or somewhere where they might not be seeing as much action. They will still get their ultimates just from hanging out there. So this is kind of a cool new upgrade. Bastion, the cool mech that can basically transform into a stationary minigun turret with a shield, has seen quite a bit of love. He's got not only more health for his recon mode when running around, but his stationary turret mode now is not limited with an angle, so he can go full 360 and look in any direction, which is actually going to change up his playstyle quite a bit. You could potentially use him offensively if you wanted to, just run right into the center of a capture point and go turret mode, and now you can watch all angles if you want. So that's going to be a very big change to his character. Torbjorn, or however you say his name, the dwarf in this game, he's seen quite a bit of changes now because his turret can no longer be upgraded to turret level 3, and it also doesn't require scrap metal to upgrade his turret, so he can always upgrade it to turret level 2 regardless of the amount of scrap metal he has. And then when he activates his ultimate, that upgrades his turret to level 3 as well, so he plays a bit differently defensively, and it's more interesting now, especially considering that his ultimate will be charging up the whole time. He'll likely have it ready when a big attack comes, so he can go ultimate and he can activate his turret to level 3 at the same time. He is a very strong defensive character right now, and I like him a lot. D.Va's defensive matrix has seen some significant upgrades. Hanzo's scatter arrow is now basically a more predictable scattering, so you can control that weapon a little bit more. Before it seemed a little more random as to how it was going to break apart and what it was going to hit, so that'll be more interesting, especially for people who like to play pool and try and predict how that arrow scatter shot is going to ricochet around corners. Soldier 76 is going to lose accuracy if he just fires in full auto, so he's going to be a little bit more of a burst fire character, and he's going to do less damage at range, so he can't really compete with the snipers as effectively as he could before. Roadhog's chain hook now stuns you for a little bit longer, so that move is going to be even more terrifying, as if it wasn't the scariest thing before to get chain hooked by Roadhog. Pharah's jetpack will no longer recharge when you're sliding on rooftops, which is something that I like to do when playing the game, but it was admittedly a bit of an exploit. Mercy, who is arguably one of the best healing characters in the game, her ultimate ability that could resurrect basically all of her dead teammates 5 at a time, in some situations has been nerfed quite a bit. It still does the same thing, it's just active radius has changed. So it was 40 meters before, now it's 15 meters, so your area of effect is so much smaller. Chances of resurrecting all your teammates is just very slim now, unless they all died in one specific location. It's still applicable, certainly, because people will die from gravity wells and other abilities, or just choke points. You know, she can still resurrect a lot of people there. Blizzard made this change because a lot of people that are practicing this game competitively were considering Mercy like an auto pick. Like, if you didn't have Mercy in your lineup, then you're probably going to lose, or you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. And their goal with this game is to make no characters so good that they feel like an auto pick, and I think that's a very good philosophy, because there's a lot of characters in this game, and it would be really cool to have team compositions that are just kind of crazy, wild, and unique, and maybe never before seen. And I think that's something that you could expect to see happening a lot in this game. Now, there's been a lot of other changes, bug fixes, balance updates. The game is performing amazingly. It defaults with my settings on high. I'm playing at 1440p, and I'm getting around 130 to 140 frames per second. So this game is optimized incredibly well. Blizzard calls it a beta, but this game is better polished than most games when they launch, or even ever. Honestly, there's a lot of games that have been out for years that still crashed and still perform poorly, and this game is just solid right now, and I can't wait for it to launch for everyone. I want to start grinding out my character skins. I'm already kind of addicted to the unlock aspect of this game and getting those cool new loot crates. Anyway, if you were fortunate enough to get into the closed beta, then good on you. It's a lot of fun. If you can't play it yet, hold on, guys. I know Blizzard's probably going to be doing an open beta at some point, hopefully before the actual game launches. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it gives you at least a little bit of taste of Overwatch if you haven't played it yet. And I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing out.